Moon gang, what is going on? What is going on, folks? It's been a bit. It's been a couple hours. It's been a few hours. Oh, hello, hello, hello. What is going on, team? Moon gang, moon gang, moon gang. Moon gang. I just like hitting the bell, if I'm being honest. Um, so very excited. I did the interview. I did an hour-long interview with Dave Lauer. Cool stuff. We talked about dark pools. We talked about payment for order flow, and we got some definitive answers. Way more the definitive than like the misinformation we see on various forms of social media. The interview, honestly, it's just it's processing in the background, and I'll be posting it tonight. So here's the plan with that. I will post the interview in its entirety. No editing or anything. You're going to get the entire interview. I'll probably like premiere it tonight. I don't know. Like, let me know. Like maybe like 6 p.m. Eastern or something like that. 3 p.m. West Coast time. So that'll be out, and then either tonight or tomorrow we'll end up clipping some of the very, very important questions from it. Just like specific of like we see too much hesitation and hemming and hawing of, okay, like we know payment for order flow is bad. I don't think anyone's arguing against that. I mean, you'll have some random nobody accounts on social media saying that I haven't said that. I don't know how to be more clear. I'm in no way, shape, or form supportive of payment for order flow. I'd rather get rid of it. But I think the issue is more problematic than that. It's just not the inherent issue of them paying for it. It's what does it lead to? What it leads to is a massive amount of order routing to the duopoly that is Citadel Securities and Virtu. Same thing with dark pools. Actually, as you're going to see in the video, I had like a little bit of a disagreement with dark pools with Dave Lauer, and it's just more of like my concept of like, okay, I get that they're like inherently less regulated, so I don't want trading on that. And then he had some interesting facts and figures about it, and like it's gonna be a good interview. You're gonna, well, I don't know, it depends on how hardcore you are into your own echo chamber, but it's a good educational interview. Some people are, I don't know, I think some feelings are gonna be hurt because like maybe what they just thought was their own confirmation bias are gonna get like a little upset about it, but whatever. I am here to spread the truth to the best of my ability. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to confirm anyone's bias or make you feel better if I just don't think it's the truth. So anyway, good interview. It's an hour long. I'll be, as of now, unless I get some pushback and you guys want it coming out at a different time, I was thinking about premiering it at 6 p.m. This afternoon. So in about, 4 hours, if my math is right. And then we'll clip it on Kohrs Clips, which is that backup channel. For those of you who don't know about it, the backup channel is where we're going to do like clips of interviews, of live streams, of unboxings. That's the first link in the description of the video, the Kohrs Clips. So that'll be more of the succinct, like specific questions and the specific answer instead of like having to always come back to an hour-long interview, just to make it a little bit more, I guess, digestible, easier to locate information. So just did the interview, coming out tonight. We'll clip part of it probably starting tomorrow, but excited for you guys to get some like valid information from a proven expert opposed to like a faceless, nameless account on social media. I think it gives it a little bit more credibility. Not getting any notification about you going live. Well, that's a bummer. I don't know why. That's a big bummer. Did anyone else have issues with not getting a notification? Theoretically, if you are subscribed and then if you go over to the bell icon, you should be getting it. Who is this nobody? What's this name? Just another nobody. 2 channels equals double dipping on Apes Matt has no shame. I don't know who needs to know this, but I don't like the other channel is not even monetized. In fact, I've lost money running that channel because I have to pay people to do work for it and it's not monetized. So another solid instance of just someone, I did not get a notification. A lot of people not getting a notification. Well, that's that's upsetting. Not only are people not getting notifications, but after this morning stream, I got about like 5 different messages that people said that they were unsubscribed from my channel. I don't know. That one's a weird one for me to, I guess, even comment on, because so many people have sent it to me, and YouTube is essentially saying, no, that doesn't happen at all. I don't know. I don't get why. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. No notifications. No notes. No notes. If you haven't seen New Girl, that will make no sense to you. But if you have seen New Girl, you'll think that's hilarious. My friend Mike thinks that the squeeze is holding out for next shutdown to the country, which is coming soon to really drive the price down. What do you think? I have no commentary on if our country will or won't be shut down. Obviously, I know I look like a credible source of, like, as in, I get that I look like the government would call me and say, Matt, what should we do? Should we shut down? Should we not shut down? What is your like leading edge breakthrough on these shots? I know I look like that. I know I look like a very credible scientist, future predictor, but unfortunately I'm not. There's a very good chance that the information related to the virus and shuts down, I probably get it after you, just because for my own mental sanity, I try to consume social media less and less. LOL, ego much? You guys know this is sarcasm, right? Like, who in the world takes me seriously? It, like, I feel when I'm live streaming that I'm like, oh, like, I know it's sarcasm, so I like really, really drive it home, like over the top sarcasm, and people think that it's serious. Like the other day when I was going on about being paid off by the frog industry, someone messaged me and was like legitimately pissed. They're like, you're such a sellout. I heard about your sponsorships today and how much money you make. What? Folks, I'm in the basement of a townhome in Philadelphia, PA. Like, it's not like I'm in some mansion in Malibu. It's a joke. No, the frog industry did not pay me off. Obviously, it's a joke that the government is not reaching out to me about lockdowns. Like, it makes my jokes inherently less funny, folks, if I have to explain that everything I do it's one of two things. It's either sarcasm or a typo on social media. That is my life. I'm either making a typo mistake or I'm being sarcastic. Those are the two truths of my being. Typos, sarcasm. Like, that should be your initial thesis with everything related, Matt Kohrs. Sarcasm and typos. And if for one of those reasons, like, you think we're deviating from that, like, just really dive into it and be like, oh my God, like, I don't see a typo. Is something going on? Do I see a comma splice? Like, is he using the Oxford comma this time? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And then other than that, like, I'm just telling you, assume sarcasm, like across the board. It's funnier when you have to explain it. The frog industry, that's a leap. Man, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. These people. Hey, Matt, just a theoretical question. If AMC went to 100K to 500K, would the US become debt-free from all the capitalist gains tax? Very well might. I would have to run the math on it. That's a good theoretical question. Shout out to that one. Matt, I'm going to rant for 5 minutes. Kohrs, shout out. You know me well. Well, we are dumb money. Yeah, like, you're such a shill for sarcasm. I find it so funny. This experience, I started my YouTube channel in March of 2020, and I didn't get traction until January or February of this year. So let's call it about 6 months. The only thing, like, I've been trading for the better part of a decade. And with this experience, I've learned exponentially more about the market. Just between talking to people, the DD, even interviews with Dave Lauer, the seat I'm in, it's put me on, like, the fast track of stock market. Like I thought I was learning at my own pace, but when you have, I guess, these interviews and you're talking to people on YouTube and you're reading Reddit, DD, like you learn exponentially faster. The only thing that I think's taken me by more of a, I guess, expedient whirlwind is just what I've learned about, I guess, human psychology, and like day in and day out, it's just, it blows my mind in both directions. The compassion and support and just genuine, I guess, I don't know, involvement in this community, all of that stuff is so incredibly amazing, more than I would have ever imagined. And then the other side of the coin, I was just talking to a guy who helps me out, basically my like manager of this channel. We were joking before this of how I need to pick up a new sponsor. And hey, if anyone's listening who has these connections, I would love to be sponsored by a hearing aid company, because that was the joke. Like there's people on various forms of social media who will say I did or said something that's not only wrong, but it's like literal polar opposite of what was actually said or done. And like, it's weird because like, I don't want to pull receipts and be like, hey, here's the live stream. Like, that's the beautiful thing about everything I've said or done related to this thing. It's all live. It's all recorded. It's all cataloged. As long as YouTube doesn't take it down, like I have the proof of everything I've said or done. And honestly, you guys kind of have it too, because it's up there as long as YouTube doesn't take it down. And they've only officially taken down one, and that was like the Jim Cramer one, when I was showing his interview with Jon Stewart. That's the only one they've taken down. But really, in terms of like all of this stuff, like it wasn't really that salacious of a particular live stream. And I just find it fascinating that people just say random stuff and they're like, oh, he said this. Is like, we have the proof. Like it's right there. I've not taken anything down besides the one that YouTube took down on me. I don't take stuff down. It blows my mind. I love it. I love how much I get to learn about human psychology on this side. When is the Dave Lauer interview? It's done, and I'm planning on posting it at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight, unless you guys want it at a different time. So basically, in a little less than 4 hours, I was going to premiere it. It's about an hour long, and it's all about dark pools and payment for order flow. I know people have many other questions, but it's one of those things that like these are complex subjects. And honestly, we could have had a 3-hour interview about one of those alone. So we didn't really add in the other things such as like failures to deliver. Like that's just like a whole nother conversation, potentially with him, with another person. But like, I kind of had to be respectful of time. I can't be like, yo, Dave, like you're going to be in this interview with me until like I say we're done. It's not going to really work like that. So this one in particular is meant to answer your questions about a dark pool and payment for order flows. What are they? What aren't they? How does it relate to anything? Like, what are they? Like, how is it benefiting people? How is it hurting us? Its involvement with naked shorts, its involvement with stopping a squeeze, blah, blah, blah. Like the list goes on. But it's all about dark pools and payment for order flow. So if you want to know about those, check it out tonight. I'll be posting it in about 4 hours. Someone said, please post it sooner. We need motivation. This interview, like Dave and I are not like superior, or he might be, I'm not. It's not like we're musicians to like pump you up with a cool song like Boom Boom, like Candlesticks or anything. This is just like a very educational conversation of like me asking questions and trying to get to the bottom of what certain things are or aren't. Every time someone says BB in comments, I still what they mean. Come in hand on AMC. Can I get a oh brother? I don't think I did a single oh brother this morning, and no one asked me if I was okay. And honestly, I just forgot about it. My mind all morning was like, all right, like what's the best way to ask Dave these questions? But no one asked. Be like, dude, no one had the official oh brother count, and that was kind of it. I'm concerned that no one noticed the severe lacking in my most classic catchphrase, lamp on, lamp off. All right, what other comment? Matt Kohrs is sponsored by Diet Croak. What's going on, Matthew Cook? Matt, Frog Market here. We will stop payment right now since we just found you are not a lead scientist of the government. JK, love your content. Matt, I just watched The Wall Street Code recently and enjoyed it. Got any other Wall Street docs you would recommend? Wall Street Code, that's a very good one. I was also a fan of that. In terms of Wall Street, maybe not docs, but Wall Street movies, definitely watch The Big Short. Watch Michael Lewis's documentary. That's an official documentary. Watch Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. Those are, I think that was actually, there's two. Like there's a remake of it, one with Shia LaBeouf and then an earlier one, I believe with Charlie Sheen. Watch The Boiler Room. Who's in that? The guy who plays The Mentalist is in it. And there's some other big actor in it, but that's a good one too. Honestly, there's not many, like if you just search Wall Street movies and if you look at the top recommended ones, I'm pretty much a fan of those across the board. Margin Call. Margin Call is the one I'm thinking about. The one with the guy who plays The Mentalist. Emotion and humor throw all of the other emotions, fellow apes. These ate the two that matter. Pretty hungover here. Quality drinking game though. Clubfoot Billy. I believe yesterday we were doing an unboxing. And he, I believe, was taking a drink every single time I was flailing a knife around. And when I do an unboxing, there's quite a bit of knife flailing. I'm endlessly impressed. Been famous a few times. I do not like it one bit. Shout out to Burns. For those of you who don't know, you might know Burns as a super chatter of the channel, but previously he was a well-known comedian. And now, how do you you're more in the environmentalist world, I believe now, kind of pushing the needle ahead on that. What did the perverted frog say? Rub it. Matt, I've watched the I'm Paid Off video 2 times and thought it was going to break ribs from laughing so hard. The frog industry is real. The more this goes on, like, I don't know why. I'm not arguing it's healthy, but the visceral anger, like just the pure, like animosity these like nameless, faceless accounts have by the fact that people send in super chats, it how can it not make you smile? Like, just as a human, I think it's such a core human thing to kind of poke more fun at someone that's irrationally mad, like just illogically mad. And then day over day, I just see them like running their mouth of like, how could he? How could Matt take a super chat? And then I wonder, like, I suppose, has that person ever been to a restaurant ever? Like, imagine this person of like, you just got like a cool, I don't know. I'm a big fan of like a chicken salad sandwich. Imagine being at a diner, you get a chicken salad sandwich, and let's say the sandwich is like $7 and you tip them $3 and you're like, hey, thanks. Like, thanks, Denise. It's been real. Catch you tomorrow. Imagine that same person running up and be like, how dare you? And Denise, like, who has the $3, like, you just slap it out of their hands and be like, I will not accept super chatting in the food industry. Like, I don't even like, what in their brain is going on that they think any of this is forced? I do this because I like this. In all reality, do I make money off of YouTube? Yes. Do I make money when I do sponsorships such as like Manscaped or ButcherBox? Yeah, that's what a sponsorship is. Do I get a kickback with affiliate deals? Yes. Am I sponsored by Weeble? No. There's like a weird, it's super, super weird. but like they think we're sponsored. No, Webull does not do sponsorships. As of now, I am saying this on August 2nd, 2021. I know of no one who's done a Webull sponsorship. Anyone who does it, like, I could just leave. I could say what I want about it and I could just drop it. I am not tuned in. I'm not tied into anything whatsoever. And all of this, like, folks, in reality, I've gotten to the point where fortunately I'm good enough at trading that I could live off of trading. Like, that's it. I could pay my bills. Obviously, everything else adds on to it. And with that, who I am as a person, and I've kind of alluded at this of what I want to do. And I've talked about certain charities that are very important to me personally. And I would love to grow that and become even bigger. And like, it's just all this commentary of all these people on the internet who like have no idea what I am or not doing with my money. And I think one of these days, for everyone who's shown me neutral all the way up to an incredible amount of support, one day, there will be a big announcement, and I'm not saying in the near term, and I'm getting, it's the start of getting what I need to get figured out in the back end. You will be so incredibly happy you were a Moon Gang member. We are taking this doesn't end here. What this community has come together, and I see the passion for it. We're going to be on to massive, massive things that truly benefit, in my opinion, like your neighbors, all of your neighbors at large, society. One of these days, everything will be figured out the way it needs to be legally and all that stuff. And you're going to be whatever you are now, you're going to be so much happier to be like, hey, I am a member of the Moon Gang. Because for me, the way I view this right now, it's a very important and large chapter with AMC and GME. But I mean that in the sense that it's only the chapter. This is a specific chapter, and we've already done the hard part. We have collected a community of people who are so incredibly passionate, knowledgeable, willing to work hard. And with that, that's a hard thing, is collecting the community. After that, we ride this ship, this rocket ship, wherever we want. And maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm just a dipshit 27-year-old who doesn't know how the world works. But I think we can actually make even more impactful, positive change, not only in the stock market, our battle is not done there, but even bigger than that. I think we could do so much incredible good for our society. And that's what I'm going for across the board. It doesn't just end at me like, making update videos on a particular stock. Like, this isn't like the cap of the career. This is like one part of a chapter, I guess. Like, this is like a paragraph of a chapter. And I think if you were to fast forward, whatever, a couple months, a year, a couple years, what this will transform into, I think the potential alone in it, like, it truly keeps me up at night. Just a pure excitement of like knowing that we can like do so much good. Like, it really is cool to know that, like, usually in life you run into these walls, and it's like, I think I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about, like, society sets out these honeypots for you of just like, this is how the world is supposed to go. Of whatever, like, you get a degree, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's honeypots of where you get into it, you get a safety net, and you feel comfortable, and that's it. But with this, I think so many, if you really think about AMC and GME on one of the highest possible levels you could possibly like really think about it, to me, it's so representative of immense potential and immense hope. And when you have immense potential and immense hope poured together with a sizable community of passionate people, to me, the sky's the limit. And I just get so insanely excited knowing of where we can go. And just so everyone knows, this isn't it. It's not like I sit here day in and day out. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that live stream tomorrow. Slowly but surely, we're building out the team to know the next mega level to take all of this to. And I hope one day, a year from now, I hope on August 2nd of 2022, I'm able to look back at this video and be proud of like how much has really come to fruition from it. Big things coming, huge things coming. And like the fact that like people are sitting here still like arguing about like honestly just asinine things. It's like, well, what are you doing good for the world of just like, it's petty little stuff. And I think all of us, and I get it, it's social media. And sometimes like even me, like there's some sort of emotional response and like something rubs you the wrong way. Yeah. Like obviously I'm human too. And there's things I respond to that I probably shouldn't respond to. But I think it's good for us to all take a step back and understand the big picture of where we're all truly going. Right now, yes, it's AMC and GME, but don't get confused. We are literally fighting day in and day out for stock market fairness and stock market transparency for one of the biggest entities that this world has ever known, the Wall Street complex. That's who we're fighting against. And we are, what, in this community across the board, 4 million just individual retail traders. Well, imagine what we can do if we keep growing and keep up the fight. Like I said, maybe it's being naive. I think we are actively changing Wall Street for the better. And if we can change Wall Street for the better, imagine what we could do across the board. It's just such an unbridled amount of enthusiasm and passion. And when you have that, I don't know what could really stop us. As jokes are correlated with unrelated data too, which is why I am waiting for this community since July last year. Ape should check out the Vertisum video. Math has a fatal flaw, game of life. Defo don't feel the trolls. Whatever. It is sometimes fun to like, I guess just poke at them, see what happens. Mick Esco becoming an astronaut. Shout out, Brian. Keep it up. I'll give you my money in $2 increments when I damn well please. Here's 5. And Vin Diesel was the Iron Giant. Hush up and take my money. Who? Vin Diesel, he's Groot as well, right? Can someone correct me if I'm wrong on that? I believe he's Groot in the Avenger movies. Cats can turn their ears 180 degrees. Can you prove right now that you're not a cat? I bet you cannot prove and you can turn your ears. Matt is a cat. Shout out Cat Facts. Blink 182 guy noticed about UFO research. No one in the military had creative brains work differently. Neutral to bullish support only. He is Groot. All right, I appreciate that. My boy, Mark Sinclair. I don't want to undersell his, I guess, resume, his IMDb. Turn screenwriter, turn ecological strategist. That was it. Ecological strategist. Basically found a way to save the Great Barrier Reef, looking for location shoots. Everything went from there. Brought me and the Hodel men. It's one hell of a story. Mateo, please hear me out. Yellow nectarines are better than peaches. Not only do I disagree with that, but how could you say that? Your account name is Voldemort. Voldemort is all up in here saying yellow nectarines are better than peaches. That's crazy. No way. No way. I mean, we could put it to a vote, but I don't know if we can trust Voldemort's opinion on nectarines being better than peaches. Hey man, can you check out ATOM Finance? Atom Finance, pretty nice UI, and had a each stock financial and F13 all on app. I've heard a little bit about Atom Finance, of just like a cool UX for information. I'll dive more into it. Trey's nipples only fan. Wait, you're not Shia LaBeouf? Oh man, I've wasted 7 months. I wish Shia LaBeouf and I were friends. I feel like maybe we wouldn't get along. I'd like to think we would get along. You know who I would love to just hang out with and play video games with? It would 100% be Post Malone. I think Post Malone is probably one of the most down-to-earth, mega famous people ever. And maybe he's just really good at interviewing, and Maybe he just puts on like one of the best acting performances you could ever do in every single interview he's ever been in. But if you ever watch a Post Malone interview, the dude is as genuine as it comes. I just think it's so cool when people are at that level and they also retain such a large part of just being a human and humanity in general. But hey, Post, Mr. Malone, if you're listening right now, he's a big fan of UFC 2, the game. I would love to play against you in that. That's it. We are in the end game. Stay alert. Wet Dirt Kurt, also known as Mud. Old brother. Captain Catbeard becoming an astronaut. My money is stupid and I don't want it anymore. Please take my money. Shout out Hunter. Appreciate you. Your merch arrives today. Enjoy. King Magnetic. I'll be checking that out. I appreciate that. Much like the other Moon Gang member, I also used to be a famous comedian. The girl in high school would laugh at me. Shout out, not a hedge fund. You're getting so close to releasing our first conversation where you thought I was nuts. I can read micro expressions. You don't have to read micro expressions. I think Mr. Brendan Burns, I think you are definitely some sort of mixture of nuts and onto something, which is also, let's be honest, that's a very dangerous mixture. And I mean that in a positive manner, because I think it's that mixture of nuts and onto something of people who like get things done. Hey, Matt, I keep getting told that buying AMC options is delaying the short squeeze and helping hedgies. Is that true or FUD? It's not that simple at all. It depends on the environment. If you're buying options, call options, if you buy call options and AMC is not moving, that is truthful to say that you're pissing away money because you're going to lose money. It's completely different though if AMC is moving, because options, if you play it right, you can make more money than a stock. So if the stock is moving and you play options right, you then make a huge percentage gain. And then if you take that money, that allows you to buy more AMC. So can playing options hurt AMC? Yes, if you do it improperly. Can buying options help AMC? Well, yeah, because we know there's a gamma squeeze. We know there's bigger percentage gains, and that can end up helping the stock. So it's definitely a double-edged sword. Like, I don't think there's a generic answer. And if the stock isn't moving, and you're attempting to generate more money, well, you could also look at selling covered calls. Now, that's a bit risky because you could be capping your gains, especially if you do it right when the stock's about to rip and like it squeezes and then you lose out because you sell a covered call. But there have been many people who in basically March, April, and half of June, and then for when did they do it? March, April, half of May, the second half of June and July were selling covered calls, and they made more money and just bought more shares of AMC. So it all comes down to how you play it. Can engaging in options, to answer your question, delay the short squeeze? Yes. If played properly, though, it can actually expedite the short squeeze. It cuts both ways. And if you feel that like, hang on, maybe I'm not that comfortable with options and like you don't want to do that, well, then just don't play it. In the most general sense, the best combination when the stock is moving is options and shares. But for me right now, AMC is not moving much. So I can tell you this, I'm only in AMC shares at this moment in time because the stock's not really moving and I don't want to lose money. Like obviously, not only do I want to retain money, but I'm trying to generate the most money possible from my AMC position. So in this current environment, I would recommend probably no options. That at least when I say recommend, that's what I'm doing myself. Like that's what makes sense in my own mind. But it's a dynamic answer. There's not like a general blanket answer. Yes, it's why I'm here. We could put pressure on Japan and France to stop slaughtering dolphins if we own Doge. It's why I'm here. Burns, it's comments like that it's intriguing. Like, I love this connection. You're saying we can stop the killing of dolphins with Doge. Like, it has just enough in there that I get interested and I just need to know more because it's so out there, but I just want it to be true. Crazy stuff. We would change trading for better with an ape app. Love you, man. I think that, but even with that, that then requires funding to pay the engineers to create it. And if anyone was paying attention 2 weeks ago, the community is not the most supportive of, like, I guess, funding like an app, or what was it? I mean, I guess at that case it was different. It was a legal case. But I think it would be awesome for someone to make an ape app that does not engage in payment for order flow. But there will obviously be pushback. I would love for that app to exist. I would love for there be an app that does not do payment for order flow, does not send their orders to a market maker, has a good UI, and has free trading. I would love an app that has those 4 things. That would be amazing. I would be on it within a second. Unfortunately, that doesn't really exist right now. But there are some things that have some of them, so you have to weigh out, okay, like, what's the most important to me type of a deal. But I would love that. Do you have any opinion on the app Uphold? Just downloaded it last night, looking to get some tendies on XRP. I do not have Uphold. I have Coinbase, Gemini, BlockFi, and Voyager are the crypto-based apps I have. Where would it make money? So one of the ways it would make money is, so if you look at Public, they have a tipping mechanism, and they also make some money from their stock lending. But then again, like, not everyone wants to do stock lending. So that's one of the biggest issues, is as soon as you get away from payment for order flow, and if you also don't do stock lending, that's the question of, like, well, then how does the brokerage make money? But I feel like there's probably some sort of creative way beyond tipping that it would actually, like, generate money. And I think that's what we need, is just creative people to come up with very unique solutions that Wall Street at large has yet to think of. Audio listener updates. AMC not doing much. It's down 2.5% on the day, trading above 36. GME is trading at 160, down 0.7% on the day. Why is AMC just going sideways? Because many people aren't trading it. Remember, a stock moves on the current trading. If there's low interest, as in like low volume, and it's going to have low volatility, you're not going to get much movement then. If it's just going sideways, it means commonly that the bulls and the bears, people buying and people selling, are generically equal weighted, equal strength. We can change trading with the Ape app. My man, I'm willing to help. Love you, Matt. I believe in you too. Shout out. I mean, I think that would be absolutely phenomenal to, like, literally have a brokerage that retail can be happy in using. Hey Max, is there a price we don't want AMC to get pushed down to, since shorts have to buy our shares to cover? Would 10 a share matter? I mean, overall, we, like, every cent it goes down, we don't want that. We want every cent we go up is better and better. Like, I don't think that there's a particular price level that, like, has that much meaning. Obviously, just the higher the better type of a deal. They should create a membership fee based, like Amazon Prime, for people are fine paying one time for shipping, not every time they ship. Okay, wait. Seriously, and this would be, like, most likely a multi-year undertaking. Would you use a trading application above? Okay, if there was a trading brokerage that did not do payment for order flow, it had share lending that anyone could opt out of, it did not route its orders to a market maker, and it had good UI. And for that, to get all that stuff, there was a monthly fee. And obviously I know everyone would be like, okay, like, well, what's the monthly fee? Let's say that it's a reasonable monthly fee. Somewhere, I don't know, like, I'm just thinking of this now. Let's say somewhere in the range of 10 to 30 US dollars. Would you use that brokerage over Robinhood, over Webull, over all these other ones, if that is how it worked? Someone said that's Fidelity. See, the issue with Fidelity is most of Fidelity's orders are still routed to Citadel. Most of them still end up going to Citadel, even though they don't do payment for order flow. That's why I said not only not payment for order flow, but they still don't route most of their orders to Citadel. Fidelity, you can get away with it. I'm like away from market makers. Couldn't you? You have the option to choose where to route it, but a lot of people don't do it. Has only AMC shares. Like, it's just like you can only trade one stock and one stock only, AMC. A lot of people saying yes, and some people saying no. That's fair. I mean, we're literally just discussing this now. That's not what I have like up my back sleeve of what we were working on. An Ape membership. Just so you guys know, and I think this is very important, is when a brokerage does not have payment for order flow, that does not mean that Citadel is its main, I guess, not really custodian, but its main route location. We do see that. Like, if you even look at the, what is it, that 601 filing or whatever, Fidelity only does payment for order flow in options. It does not do it for stocks, and it has free trading. I'm trying to be very, very honest about what Fidelity is. But if you look into it, for people on Fidelity who are not intentionally routing their orders, the most common path is still Citadel Securities. So if you're on Fidelity, that's great. You're avoiding payment for order flow, but make sure, take it to the next level and make sure you're avoiding Citadel Securities by actively routing your orders away from them. Hedgies use the back and forth over the last 2 months to generate enough profit to purchase more calls and shares, and they have short positions. So when they cover their profits from the long, vastly outweighed their losses from the short. Possible. Misto, it's theoretically possible if they were that profitable. Like, obviously, if they pulled off that type of profit, like, yeah, that is a possibility. But someone, it depends on the hedge fund if they successfully pulled that off. Can you go over what you had tweeted today about the FTDs and such? I didn't really understand what was going on. Would be great if you can give a rundown. So basically, I personally thought it was weird that there, to my understanding, with an FTD specific to AMC, I was expecting on July 8th to see at minimum 2.5 million FTDs, because I thought to go on the threshold list, you have 5 consecutive days of at least 2.5 million, which is 0.5% of the outstanding shares, and then you're put on it. And I thought you remained on it until it fell below that threshold and you were taken off that day. I didn't know, I just didn't know that you had to remain below that threshold limit for 5 consecutive trading days to then be removed. I thought you were removed the day of, so I thought there was like something kind of fishy going on. But during the stream, and shout out to everyone who was on stream to kind of point out, and like we did some live DD of the fact that no, you have to remain below the limit for 5 days and then you're removed from it. So basically we kind of thought there was something wonky going on, but then with that new updated explanation, the data does support it to like that new current understanding. So basically, there's 2 ways you can look at it. If you're looking at the spike in FTDs, like the newly reported from early July, does it make sense that we were taking off the threshold list when we were? Yes. But on a more important level, why at the end of June and the beginning of July did we have such a spike in FTDs to begin with? Like, we should not have those type of spikes. Those should not exist. So in terms of the threshold list, I don't see anything that, everything I understand now, my current understanding, it does add up. But still on the highest level, why did we have that many FTDs to begin with? Like, those shouldn't exist. Like, we could argue the semantics and the details of when we were or weren't taking off the list, but the fact that there's such a notable spike in FTDs, that inherently itself is problematic. So to answer your question more directly, the rundown of the tweets was, I put something out and I asked you, I'm like, hey, I'm confused. Like, how does this make sense? And I don't know, some people thought I should know literally every single thing about the stock market. And that's why I put it out there to ask people. And we got the answer, and then it made sense. So I don't think that particular detail was as indicative of some crime or fraud, but still in the bigger picture, the fact that we had such a notable spike in FTDs is extremely concerning. What do you think of the red candles on MLYF chart as the price increases? Is that showing the selling to buyers? I mean, every single transaction is a buyer and a seller agreeing. So the reason it's red is because in that time frame, the close is lower than the open. That's how you get a red bar. The close is lower than the open. A green bar is the close is higher than the open. Green bar, close is higher. Red bar, close is lower. And that's how you can trend upward, because you basically have gap ups. You're trying to connect it to, is that showing selling to buyers? That's every single trade at all. Every single trade is a buyer meeting a seller and a seller meeting a buyer. It's an agreement between two separate parties. That's important to know. And I know for some people who are more familiar with trading, you've heard me say this and it might make sense to you, but please understand there's a lot of newer apes to the community. When you buy, someone is selling to you. When you sell, someone is buying from you. For every buyer, there is a seller. For every seller, there is a buyer. You do not buy from the ether. You do not sell into the ether. And then commonly the next follow-up question is like, hang on, Matt, if every buyer has a seller and if every seller has a buyer, how does the price move? And the price moves because of the price that's agreed upon. The buyer and the seller, those two parties, like for AMC, well, what are they agreeing on? Did they agree on $35.98? Did they agree on $35.97? Did they agree on $36? That's what moves the price, is the agreement between the buyer and the seller. But every buyer has a seller and every seller has a buyer. Matt, you have potential. You don't have to do what you do. You choose to do so, and you make a difference, at least in my life. Sorry for the heartfelt, but I still hate honeydews. Love you, bro. Shout out Just Bradley. Hey, Matt, when the short squeeze happens, I'm buying a replica WWE belt and spray painting AMC on it like did back in the day. Want one? Chris, I would love one. I would wear that with pride. Dans are eternal. President Darth Dan Cardinal of Pickles and VWAP. Quite the name. Your thoughts on Lucid stock and chart? So fundamentally, I like it. I do believe that there's an appetite for, let's call it, high-end EV vehicles within the US. In terms of its stock, it's not doing much, and you're kind of, if you're in it, I would either risk 20 or 21 as the current main risk. If you really like it and if you're patient in it for the long haul, you could risk 17. And in terms of a breakout, you're looking forward to break above 30. I was in it back in the heyday when it was running up here, and then they came in and the acquisition target was way, way too high and it gapped down, and that was like super, super ugly. But I'm just very bullish on the EV sector at large for the remainder of the decade. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential in it. And I think society and politically, we are moving more and more to alternative energy sources as long as it meets a certain price parity. I think if EVs can perform the same as your typical gas and diesel vehicles, if they perform the same and they're the same cost or cheaper, why would people not switch over to them? We're looking for a price parity between EV and your classic vehicles to be met. And then I think that's when we're going to see a massive influx in the demand curve, because why not? What about Drive, DRIV? That's an ETF that tracks the EV sector. I think Drive's okay. I like ARKQ better, ARKQ, to track the EV sector at large. But DRIV is another ETF that tracks the EV sector. Bill and Melinda Gates are officially divorced. Shoot your shot, Matt. Got my channel to mute your mic. I have a message, dude. Go to my channel and mute your mic. Wet Dirt Kurt. I don't know if there's the best way to go over it. YouTube. Am I feeling tired? No, I'm actually feeling good. I got a lot of R&R over the weekend, and I'm feeling real good about it. I more so just feel that I'm ugly. There's a difference between being tired and just being ugly, folks. I just want that for all my fellow, like, just resting, ugly looking people. There's a big difference. It's just how my life is. All right, what else do we have going on? Hey, Matt, if you weren't in AMC, looked at the chart, right, what would your thoughts on it be? If I never... Consolidating, it's just grinding sideways. If I saw this chart and didn't know anything about it, AMC, I'd just be like, oh, it's sideways. I would be watching it, obviously, to hold on to 31.23. I just look for that, the hold of the recent low. Looking at to hold 31 and looking at to break out of 46. If I didn't know anything about AMC, if I didn't know anything about Ape Nation, if I didn't know anything about anything with this, if I just saw this chart, I'd say, oh, you have to be patient and wait for the support to be tested or to wait for the resistance to be tested. That's how I would look at AMC if I had no clue about it at all, just purely from a charting perspective. Wet Dirt Kurt, also known as Mud Kurt, just listen to your video. I appreciate that. Ignore the personal FUD. Shout out. Thank you. Matt, do you have any advice for crying in the shower? Just found out I need spine surgery and I will likely lose my job because of it. Mother of all short squeezes, nervous last. Duke Commodities Broker. I was about to give you more of a comedic response, but I don't know if this is the time for that. I'm sorry you're going through it. I hope your job understands. I hope your manager and or boss understands that sucks. Spine surgery, that's brutal. If you need some tips for crying in a shower, most of my tips for crying in a shower are, I don't know if it would necessarily apply to you because I don't know what's going on with your spine. But for anyone who's looking for a good shower crying session, it's all about being dynamic and being agile. You got to sometimes stand and lean against it. Sometimes you have to look right into the water. Other times you need to sit down. It's all about how many different positions can you cry in. You don't want to get all bent out of shape in one and then just sit there. It's all about moving in around within the shower. Is like my main tip. But Duke, like I said, I am not the most familiar with your spine issue. But in all seriousness, I like wish you the best of luck with your upcoming surgery. If a hedge fund is over leveraged, can they declare bankruptcy? If so, what happens to the borrowed shares? They can become over leveraged, but a high majority of the time, you're going to get margin called before your leverage gets too bad. That's the entire point of margin calling, is saying, hey, your position is representing way too much risk to us. We need you to close it down. So generally, you have some sort of fail-safe from the prime broker to the hedge fund before the hedge fund gets too out of hand. Because remember, if the hedge fund goes under and messes things up, it's the prime broker that's on the hook. If they cannot, I guess, make good on their promise or whatever position they're in, then the prime broker has to pay that up, and they don't want to do that. So the prime broker, they watch their clients' positions like a hawk because they don't want to spend any of that money. Okay, this is getting weird now. You know what can be the sustainable socioeconomic incentive for wind and solar? Story, game, joke sound familiar? It sure does. All right, we went over that. Tommy, lucid, bullish on it personally. Shower crying is also about being quiet when your wife and kids are home. Oh, this is getting dark, and it's getting dark quickly. How's IWM looking? IWM is being super weird. All right, so for my audio listeners, AMC is at 36 and GME is at 159. If we take a quick look. Oh, I forgot about this stuff. I wanted to go on a field trip with all of you. I thought it would be fun. I have a very fun field trip for us all planned. Please get your permission slips signed by your parent, your legal guardian, or forge a signature yourself. But very quickly, before we go on our field trip, quick Ortex update. AMC net return of 5.6 million shares, short interest of 14.23%. GameStop, a borrow of 160,000, kind of higher numbers for GME. Anyway, a short interest of 14.27%. That's your quick update there. Let's go on this field trip. Hang on. Matt, you are doing any call options at the moment? When's a good time to do call options and put it into January 2022? I have no AMC or GME call options right now. I believe the main call options I have in my account at the current time are Tesla calls. Duke, make sure you pick a corner position, standing up and wind up slipping and stuff falls on you. Not mocking, legit escaped to be here. Big love to you, Duke. Burns, I hope everything's all going all right. Okay. Who's our chaperone? I'm the chaperone. All right, let's go on a little adventure, a little field trip of the US government. So, folks, sit down, buckle up. Actually, most buses don't have buckles, which is really weird. But anyway, we're starting the field trip. We have enough of these permission slips signed. Okay. Friday, July 30th, the Financial Services, the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services, who I'll get into it a little bit, but it is ironic that Maxine Waters is the chairwoman. But anyway, we don't have to get into that now. 4618 and 4619, they passed committee by a vote of 27 to 22. And then additionally, 4617, it passed by a vote of 28 to 22. So 4617, 4618, 4619, the 46s all passed committee. For those of you who are like, Matt, what are you talking about? Well, 4617 is all about asking the SEC to look into the efficacy, pros and cons of payment for order flow, because it is outlawed in the UK, it's outlawed in Canada. Its initial steps were kind of started by Bernie Madoff. If you really look into payment for order flow, it has some crazy things going on. Hence, it's good that the SEC is looking into it. Once again, these are all bills. They are not yet law. They have to pass committee, then the House, then the Senate, and then be signed by the president. But we're at least one step closer. 4618, this is the Short Sale Transparency and Market Fairness Act. This is all about increasing the cadence at which 13Fs are filed. 13Fs are basically you file your positions if your assets under management are over $100 million. So every quarter, they're like, hey, here's our long positions, here's our puts, here's our calls. And they do that every quarter. This bill would say instead of quarterly, let's go monthly. And on top of what you're already reporting, we want to see you reporting your short positions as well. So that is 4618, the Short Sale Transparency and Market Fairness Act. And then finally, 4619 is all about market makers front running their client. Basically, it's going to hold the CEOs legally culpable. And on top of that, the person who violated the crime, and it lays out their punishment, which could eventually lead to imprisonment if they are breaking these rules. So overall, the 46s, 17, 18, 19, I would argue, in my opinion, my non-legal, non-government, non-financial advice opinion, I would argue that they are very, very strong for retail traders. But let's take a quick look at this. So I don't know what this means. I'm not a history buff or a government buff. I don't know why these ones were all voted in a block. So they voted on the block for all of these, and then yet these were voted individually. But anyway, this was posted on Reddit. Shout out to Bird Bear for posting this and getting the link. He posted the vote, the official vote right here for in block 2. This was the vote that happened for 1-8 and 1-9. And as you can see, it passed by 27 to 22. Ayes and nays, ayes and ayes, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, no, it's aye and nay. But anyway, what's kind of interesting, and we can do this. This is one of the cool things about like the freedom of information, is you get a lot of information. And one of the ways you can get the information is just going to opensecrets.org. This is where the field trip really begins. I was just laying out the purpose of the field trip. Let's look at the ranking member, which I assume means he's basically like, what? I don't know, the leader of this group. But anyway, Mr. McHenry, obviously on this, he voted no. He voted nay. He said, nah, I don't want you to look into short sale transparency, and I don't want you to stop market makers from front running their client. And you would think, Mr. Patrick McHenry from North Carolina, why would you say no? Why would you personally do that? That seems weird. It seems like just a very realistic thing to look into. And then where it gets funny is the top industries of where he gets it. Securities and investment, he got $500,000 of, I guess, donations. Wait, can we see these other things as well? We're doing the field trip live. Wow. So between his campaign and his PAC stuff, still coming from securities and investments. I haven't done this, but I would be willing to bet if we looked at these lobbyists, I bet most of these lobbyists are from the Wall Street world. Does it actually tell us that? I mean, look at who's donating to all of these. I wish it broke up these lobbyists so we could see individual lobbyists. I bet there is someone. If someone out there right now knows how to get the sub list of these lobbyists, I'd be very interested in knowing who it is. But across the board, wait, what was the third option? Nope. Campaign committee and leadership PAC combined. So overall, where's most of his money coming from? Wall Street. Most of the dude's money is coming from Wall Street, and then he's voting for things that help Wall Street, and in doing so, actively hurt retail traders. This is just one. This is just Mr. McHenry. Contributor, Signature Bank, Rock Holdings, Blackstone Group. Right here, securities and investment, $665,000. Pretty crazy. And commercial banks, 400, so that's $1 million. These lobbyists, I don't know this for sure. So it's at least 1 million from Wall Street, but it could be all the way up to 1.3 million, depending on who these lobbyists are or aren't. Interesting stuff. Once again, shout out to, I think his name is Bird Bear. I don't know really how to say it, but he did post a pretty interesting thing on Reddit about this. So this is just the one guy. And I thought what could be fun is I read this over and I saw it. I thought it could be fun for us to, can someone just pick a random name off this list of the people who voted no? I think it could be fun for us to look into it. Chase Stresser. So you can do the lobbyist? Hang on. But can you guys just pick out a random person on this list? I thought as a field trip, we should look into see who's donating to him. Just completely random. I'll pick one out. Okay, so we do have it from the lobbyist. Oh, okay. From lobbyists and the family. So I see all these lobbyists, Trey Stresser. I guess we need to connect to who they are. So the biggest one, individual lobbyist, $5,000. Who are they? S3. All right, we'd have to do a little bit more diving into it just to see who he's like actively lobbying for. Barr. I'm seeing Barr, Bud, Mr. Bud. 2 votes for Bud. Barr and Bud. All right. Mr. Barr. Let's look into Mr. Barr. Mr. Barr. Let's see if we can find him. Politicians and lobbyists. All right. Individual. Why is it not coming up? Hang on. Financial. U.S. House Committee on Financial Services. U.S. House Committee on Financial Services members. Field trip. All right, so here's the list of people we have. Where is Barr from? All right, we have Andy Barr from Kentucky. Andy Barr. All right, Andy Barr, Kentucky. All right, individual. Let's look at it. Let's see who's lining this guy's pockets. Well, color me surprised. Securities and investment, the top industry? No way. No way, Jose. If you look at his campaign and leadership, securities and investment? Shucks, color me surprised. I think that's weird. I think that's really, really weird. Commercial banks still throwing in another $300K? Well, that's oddly interesting. Would have never guessed. All right, who else can we look up on this list? I just want another. Let's look at all the nays on this. Who else were Loudermilk? That's just a funny name. So let's look up Loudermilk. Barry Loudermilk. I didn't know you could make milk any louder. Thank you. I'll be here all week for those quality jokes. Barry Loudermilk. With a name like that, who do we have? All right, let's look. Ooh. His number one is insurance, but number 2, commercial banks. Interesting. This guy just gets like no money. I guess it's relatively cheap to win the Republican seat in Georgia. You must not need that much money. But in here, they're all still kind of the same. 85, like it really doesn't deviate that much. This guy just like doesn't get much money. Also, Barry, if you're listening to me, I hope you don't come after me, but this is exactly what I picture when I hear the name Barry Loudermilk, a representative from Georgia. This is exactly who I picture. No difference there. And I don't mean that offensively. I'm just saying you look exactly like your name, Barry Loudermilk, a Republican representative from Georgia. That you look like exactly what your position is. Let's do another one. This is fun. I love field trips. Well, hang on. Let's be fair. Let's be balanced. I'm not trying to poke fun. Let's look at some of the people that voted aye. Why not? We could do it. Let's look at Mr. Gonzalez from Texas. What's the full name? All right, we got this name. Let's do it. Let's see. I don't know how it's going to go. That's what's so fun about a field trip. You just never know where it's going to go, folks. Let's see where it's going to go. He's getting oil and gas money. Of course, he's from Texas. But he also got securities and investment. All right, let's see. Let's see who these people are getting their money from. Oil and gas, Texas, that probably adds up. Security is still 102. Hang on a second. The numbers, the discrepancy. Why was that first guy, Patrick, so much more? This dude, McHenry, like Obviously, we're still seeing securities and investment. If you don't think this, for me, the purpose of this is not to show that Republicans are getting more money. Very much the purpose of this is to show that everyone in our government is paid off by Wall Street. If you think that Wall Street is only playing one side of the aisle, I regret to inform you, you are definitely wrong. Wall Street is going to buy and pay and lobby and line the pockets of literally whoever they possibly can at large. It's not a left thing. It's not a right thing. It's a Wall Street is going to pay off and like basically make friends, like financial friends with whoever they can at large. This is not a left thing. This is not a right thing. I want to be very specifically clear with that. But what I don't get is Mr. McHenry. Why was his so much more? Like, that was a lot of money. Patrick McHenry. Like, we're looking at 100,000 from securities and investment. What was his number? He was 6x that. 665,000. I don't know. So right there, the dude who is whatever's a ranking member, does anyone think it's odd that he's getting more money? 6x. It's not like he just got like, oh, a 25% increase. He's like, I'm the ranking member. And then look where he's getting the more money. Hang on. We need to look up Waters. Oops. I wonder how much money she gets because she's the chairwoman. Maxine from California. I bet she's still paid. No, she's not. I was wrong. I do stand corrected. Her biggest one is the insurance and then lawyers. Interesting. It is, to me, interesting to note that the chairwoman, who I think is more important than the ranking member. I don't know how it works. I don't know who's more important. But anyway, it looks like it's her fourth most popular one. And then commercial banks is the fifth. And then that is opposite of the ranking member, who it was his like, what, 1 and 2? I wouldn't have to go back so far if I didn't have so many typos. It was 1 and 3, but like the degree to which he was getting money was exponentially more. Across the board, though, my point is you can pick a name on this list. Take a dart, throw it at your monitor, see where it lands, search that person, and they're going to be getting money from Wall Street. So am I happy that this passed? Of course I am. But I'm assuming it must have somehow been in their benefit. I don't know. Maybe it's too negative for me to say across the board, but the people on here, I feel unfortunately a large majority of them are in it for personal gain rather than societal gain. I mean, they're getting money hand over fist. I mean, look at some of the money flowing in and out of this stuff. I would like to believe that everyone on this list is here for us, is here for the country, here for global society, here to improve Wall Street because this is the financial committee. But I just don't see that trend. I don't see these people doing that truly for us at all. So am I happy that enough of them voted yes? Of course I am. Do I think that they all inherently just have our back and are here to like do what they can for us? Not necessarily. I think they vote in our favor or vote against us when the political landscape tells them that it's acceptable to do so. I think that's more of a situation that's going on. But hey, give it a search yourself. You can find this all out. You can look up your favorite people, opensecrets.org, and see where the money is or isn't coming from. Just said dart at the monitor isn't going well. But check it out. It's fun. I linked all of this in the video, my last video upload from last night. You could check all this stuff out. But that was field trip time. I think we all came back in one piece. I like it. Oh, someone, Pelosi. I do actually want to know who is contributing to her out of my own curiosity. Someone just asked to search Pelosi. Pelosi. How many more web pages do I need to open? Pelosi. Is that how you spell it? Pelosi? Who is giving Pelosi? Whoa, 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 whoa. I thought, well, I guess she's more important. She's a speaker, so of course she's going to get more money. Um, hmm. Not really retired Democratic. Maybe these are PACs or something. Education, health professional, lawyers, and law firms. Wow. In 2020, she pulls money in, folks. This is just so everyone knows, this only goes up to 2020, everything we've talked about. But these numbers, and it makes sense. She is the speaker. Like, obviously that's a higher position, but she pulls money. 7 million. That guy, Loudermilk, he didn't even get a tenth of this. That guy was happy to pull in $500,000. Poor Loudermilk. Do you think Loudermilk comes on here? Why did Walt Disney donate to Pelosi? Huh. Google's like, do we think it's good that a big tech company is donating to a candidate? Like, shouldn't there be some sort of rule on that? Microsoft and Google, two of the biggest tech companies. How do I see this full list? I want to see the whole list of people. How much big tech individuals total? University of California, number 2 is Walt Disney. This might have to deal with some of the trademark and patent stuff. That's very important to Walt Disney. Stanford Alphabet, not good that big tech is donating. Microsoft, big tech donating. Amazon, Facebook, Apple, big tech, big tech, big tech, big tech, big tech. AT&T, let's call it big tech. That's crazy. Like, why is this legal, folks? Like, and I'm like, I'm not specifically picking on her. I'm sure we could say this across the board. I am not here to make a left or right statement. I'm saying we could look into anyone from any state, and I bet we find weird stuff. That's the entire point of this field trip. Anyone from any state, I bet something weird comes up. Crazy stuff. This one, it's a little bit more weird, though, because it's California, and a lot of these companies are still headquartered in California. So if you're there and you're headquartered, you're probably like, hey, I want to pay off the Speaker of the House because my company is literally based in her state. That kind of makes sense. Like, I'm not saying that's expenditures. You can see their expenditures. Unclassifiable. The government, crazy, folks. It is absolutely crazy. But check it out. You can continue the come back with a parent. If you want to come back after this field trip without me chaperoning you, go to opensecrets.org and search whatever you want to search. See what you find. If you find something really cool that you want me to go over on stream from, like, I don't know, expenditures, whatever, send it my way. And if it's something fun that we'll all dive into and get a good chuckle out of, I am more than game. I spent a good amount of time on this when it was posted on Reddit, and I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. All right, back to business. The field trip over. AMC trading at 36. GME trading at 157.62. IWM trying to bounce. Tesla, it is still up on the day. It's up $27, but not up as high as it was previously. Someone said that Waters' husband owns a bank. You know, when dairy products give you gas, that's Loudermilk. Chairperson equals the party, empowers rep, ranking member, minority party, top rep. Look into Kenny G's donations. Shady AF. Ooh. Can you see that? Kenneth Griffin. Wait. This might be more important. Open secret. Can you search people like that? Like, I mean, Kenneth Griffin. I think that's his full name, right? How would you see his... Is this him? I mean, I guess we just click on it and see his picture. Does anyone know how to like specifically confirm if this, like, I just want to know if this is the same Kenneth Griffin? Because there's a lot, I guess that's like somewhat of a normal name. Mr. I want pictures. I need pictures, more of a visual learner. Nevada, New York, California, Illinois. Oh, yeah, right here. Look at. Kenneth Griffin Citadel LLC. Whoa. Top individual contributors, all federal contributions. He comes in at number 5. What? He's donated $650 to Democrats and $67 million to Republicans. Like, was this an accident? He's like, why did I give $650 to one Democrat? And then 67 million. Like, this must have been the most right-leaning Democrat of all time for him to throw $650. Like, that had to be, like, it was just, what, an accident? Like, $650? Why such a weird, like, these other ones make more sense. 218 million, 151, like 000. What, did his assistant just mess up one day? And he's like, why did I do this? Like, is this just so he could legally say, he's like, oh, I donate to both sides? Is that what's going on? He's like, yeah, no, I support both sides of the political aisle. Lost a bet. That is ridiculous. How do we get into the profile and see more? I want to see where this money's gone. He's the number 5 donator. Wow. And honestly, though, like, who is this person? Sands, Las Vegas Sands and a drug clinic? As in, like, a casino and a drug clinic work together? Folks, this gets even bigger. I mean, honestly, 218 million is way, way bigger. Way bigger than Kennedy's. Who are these people? Whoa. This guy seems like 33. The dude's 87. Oh, wait, he passed away. He passed away recently. He is the founder and CEO of Sands, the casino. And he's apparently stupidly wealthy. Las Vegas. I didn't know who this... Sheldon Adelson. And the connection is also Miriam. Adelson Drug Clinic. What is this? It seems a little sketchy. Yeah. Dr. Miriam and Sheldon G. So I guess they own a drug clinic and also casinos? Bloomberg. We know who Bloomberg is. Thomas and Taylor. Don't know who that is. California. Nevada, New York, California, Illinois. Huh. I want to dive more into this. I want to know who he's donated to. That could be fun. Hey, that could be fun. Man, this is the field trip that just keeps on giving, folks. This has been a great field trip. Such a fun field trip. A fun field trip. We're all on the same team. It feels like that. It cuts both ways. I would in no way say, or does any part of me believe that it's worse or better on one side of the political aisle. I think they're all in cahoots together. Blackstone. Blackstone is number 8. Isn't Blackstone like a very bad group of people who like do bad things? I don't know if I should say this. Maybe we shouldn't talk about Blackstone. Let me just make sure I'm talking about Blackstone. Oh, wait, no, Blackstone, never mind, is a leading global investment business investing capital on behalf of pension funds, large institutions, and individuals. So that is different than BlackRock, which we know is long on AMC. Blackstone, American Alternative Investment Management Company based in New York City. Okay. And it trades under the symbol BX. CEO is Steven Schwarzman. And it manages, holy guacamole, $649 billion. Wow. $649 billion. They're managing almost $1 trillion. Love what you're doing, but this is how you get canceled, bro. Keep it up. Canceled by like individual people, like as in, I mean, I'm trying to make it very clear, like across the board. I don't think this is a political thing in terms of left and right. I just think it's more of like our politicians are bought and paid for. So if you're saying that it's just like our government and that's going to cancel me and maybe big tech censorship, yeah, I mean, obviously that's a possibility. That, I don't know, is a risk I'm willing to take. I'm paying you to say you need to get some sleep. Wet dirt Kurt. I mean, after a big field trip like today, I agree. I probably will need some sleep. Wet dirt Kurt. Such a great name. Search Kenneth Griffin on Open Secrets, then click on the first link and scroll to number 4 on the list. All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll bite. Open Secrets. You said search Kenneth Griffin, and then you said click on number 4, and then scroll to what on the list? Renaissance Technologies. Wait, where was I looking? Let me go back to that. Scroll to number 4 on that list. First link. Number 4. Yeah, the 66 million. I just like the $650 donation. Like, who was that? That must have been like some low level Democrat who's like, oh, like they just never explained what party they're with, and Kenneth was just like, oh yeah, like get out of my face. Here's $650. 650 on Dem, call 670 on RIP shares. Matt, can you speak on question voting share count? What about it? I would need a little bit more direction on that one, GM. Hey, Matt, why did Michael Burry sell his position in GME and not buy back in? Why didn't he mention AMC at any point? The answers may be obvious to you, but I would love to know. Thank you. I really don't know. I don't know how Michael Burry's mind works, what he does. Like, I don't know really his trading methodology. So, like, I don't know if I could comment on his positions or what's going on. Adelson's profit from both sides, gambling and addiction. Wow. Griffin was one of Obama's top bundlers in 2008. FYI, these guys play both sides. That's what I'm trying to illustrate here. I don't want you to take away from this that I'm saying one side is better or worse. I'm saying they're all bought, they're all paid for. If SPY is red today, does that count as a good chance to go green tomorrow? It depends on how red. SPY. The turnaround Tuesday thing is typically stronger if it drops 1%. The SPY is down 0.1. So you might have a little bit of a turnaround Tuesday. It's still statistically viable. It's just not as viable as a greater drop on Monday. The Ape Father diss track premieres in 30 minutes. That's from Commander Vlogs. Someone just said Sith is better than Jedi. I'm not the most knowledgeable Star Wars person, but isn't that just like wrong? I thought the Jedis were the most powerful people in that universe. I was told not to buy more shares through Webull and start using Fidelity, something about dark pools. No, that has to do with payment for order flow. I don't know where people are starting. People are trying to connect payment for order flow with dark pools and they don't relate. It's kind of like just a whole different issue. Payment for order flow, think about what it is inherently. It's brokerages routing orders to a market maker and then the market maker internalizing that order potentially with like through like an SDP. That's Citadel Connect, but it's not a dark pool. When they pay for order flow, they don't want to send it to a dark pool because that means that they didn't fulfill it. People are somehow trying to put payment for order flow and dark pools together, and they are two separate things. Payment for order flow, broker gets your order and sends it directly to a market maker, and the market maker plays the other side of that trade, most likely by internalizing it. A dark pool is more so of like, yeah, we can trade on it, but that's more of like the hidden thing, I suppose, between when you're hiding your buy walls, when you're hiding your sell walls, and market makers can engage in that, retail traders can engage in that, but it's also most meant for large institutional traders to hide their big orders. Darth Jar Jar, not Jar Jar Fudd. Darth Jar Jar is on the corruption. But anyway, for whoever was asking about that, if you're trying to avoid Citadel, yes, the end result is the same, but you're not avoiding dark pools, you're avoiding Citadel, the market maker. Bro, can you do a little dive into ATOS derivative change and something more about the shares being voted on? I don't know. I can't find the news. Glithy ATOS. I don't know what's going on, but the chart looks very bad. It's at support right now of just below 3. If it can't hold that, I would then watch 223, maybe 2 flat. I don't know what's going on fundamentally with it, but the chart is not looking good. I mean, it's just in a downtrend and it keeps breaking support. Curious to see how much dark pool today. I think it's important that I say this, that a lot of the numbers people are seeing of dark pools are not actually just dark pools. What people are referring to is off-exchange trades. And off-exchange, yes, it does include dark pools, but it also includes market makers because those are referred to as OTC and they're also off-exchange. Off-exchange is dark pools and market makers. So when you're looking at it, that the percentages of 60, 70, and 80, that's inclusive of both market makers and also dark pools. It's not exclusively dark pools. And just double check that. If you're seeing weird acronyms like OTC and ATS and non-ATS, OTC is off exchange basically. And ATS, alternative trading system, that's another fancy way to say dark pool. Non-ATS is also off exchange, and that's another fancy way to say basically a market maker. So when you're looking into it, it is all off exchange, but off exchange trading is not exclusively dark pool. It's dark pool and market makers. So just make sure, like, when you're looking into it, like what numbers you're actually looking at there. There's a very successful YouTube political channels that also touch on big money donations and have been shut down, aka Secular Talk with Kyle and the Jimmy Dore Show. Audiences still rule. I mean, I've been shut down twice. Like maybe the third time's the time they finally get me. I feel like I wasn't saying anything salacious. I was just pointing out information to 10,000 people. But maybe, I don't know. If I just like magically go dark one day, maybe look into Lauer milk. Definitely start with Lauer milk. You think pins will recover short-term possible? Don't know much about pins. Oh, quick reminder, if you haven't already, I would appreciate it endlessly if you could hit that like button. It does help me out the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That also helps out the YouTube algorithm. Liking and subscribing, completely free. If you want to be a member of the Matt Kohrs Clip channels, where we clip parts of the stream, such as Field Trip, and we'll clip part of the Dave Lauer interviews to answer the individual questions, check that out. I believe it's the first link in the description of the video. But once again, liking, subscribing, it is completely free, and it does help out with the YouTube algorithm, and it gets more people in the ape community if you enjoy this type of content. If you don't enjoy this type of content, I don't know why you're still listening then. Hope the site never shows how many supers I sent you, not a hedge fund. Oh, hey, Mark. Ape Moongang tattoo will be inked on Thursday as promised. As always, love you, bro. Buy and hodl to the moon. JP Stone, when you do that, obviously you got to send me a picture. Very excited. Very, very excited. Someone is mad still. What's his name? Someone insane. People are just like mad about how much money comes in. Like if it's, I don't get it. They're like specifically mad about super chats, which is like an optional donation. I can't even begin to understand it. Like why don't they just do it then? Like why don't you quit your job, risk your career, start live streaming a Black Swan event related to the stock market, and then do all of that. And then you can make the decisions of if you're going to do super chats or not. But, like no one's stopping anyone. Like these people who have specific issues with me, with Trey, across the board, whether it's Weeble links, whether it's super chats, if it's any of that, like honestly, no one is stopping anyone. If anyone out there feels like that this is being done wrong and I'm not a good voice for the community, if Trey's not a good voice, if TMI, if Wrench, anyone, if the list goes on. If anyone is unhappy, this is still a free platform and anyone can post content at any second of the day. Like no one's stopping them. Someone just said, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. The first thing I read is I'm pregnant. If you are pregnant, congratulations. I'm pregnant. People hate me on collecting money on my OnlyFans. Blackstone was originally under BlackRock, then they split into its own entity. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was confusing it with Blackwater, which I think is like that unalive group, And I don't know if that was, I mean, I'll happily poke fun at people, but I feel like Blackwater is not the group I want to like really poke fun at. So we'll not be doing that one. As soon as it gets into BlackRock, Blackstone, and Blackwater, like I don't want to accidentally like mix those up. Could get dangerous and could get dangerous very quickly. For my audio listeners, AMC's at 35.68 and GME's at 157.60. The Google is listening. The Google. Oh, quick question. Out of my 10,000 current viewers, shout out. I love all 10,000 of you. How many of you have heard of the new game New World? It's like an Amazon game. It's an MMO RPG. And I'm a moment of honesty here. Growing up, I loved MMO RPG games. I loved RuneScape. Great game. I played it. And then, okay. We have a time for a story. So here's what happened in my RuneScape career. I started playing it in like 3rd or 4th grade, and I was playing it, and I loved it, and I played it for years, and I developed my account. My account name was Kohrs Light. Obviously, it was Kohrs Light, but it wasn't Kohrs with an S. It was Kohrs with a Z, and I was awesome. I'm just like, my parents didn't allow me to play membered account. If you guys have never heard of RuneScape, you're not gonna get this, but like I was stoked. Like I had a free play account and I had all this rune armor and I was crushing it. And in middle school, there was this high schooler who at that time, the security surrounding the game was not that good. So people were getting all these like bots and duplicators and blah, blah, blah. And if you had something really good and a duplicator, you could duplicate it and like foreseeably like double your money, double your gear. It was really good and it was breaking the rules, blah, blah, blah. And this high schooler, he swindled me. He hoodwinked me. He bamboozled me, whatever you want to call it. He screwed me over and he's like, dude, give me your account and I'll double everything in it. And I was like, all right, naive. I'm going to get frustrated, but basically he stole all the shit from my account and changed the password. And that's the last time I ever played an MMO RPG game ever. I was heartbroken. And now 15 years later, I still feel the pain, but I think it's starting to heal. Like, I think it's like getting over a very bad relationship. And I think 15 years is enough time for me to like, there's still cracks in there. And I still think about it on an every 2-week basis, I would say. The first time that my naivety like really like screwed me over and I just lost my like Kohrs Light account. And it still bothers me and I wish I could get it back. But anywho, I digress. I think I'm at the point at this obviously very mature phase in my life that I found myself at, that it might be worthwhile to check out this game. And someone in my Discord, I think it was Cosmic, was talking about New World. And then I saw that Tim the Tatman also was posting some videos with New World. Is that like the hot new game? You got scammed. I did get scammed. It sucked. And I still think about it. But I don't even know if it's out yet or something, but I want to try streaming it. It seems fun. I don't even have it. I need a PC. I ordered a PC. I'm waiting for it to show up, but I wanted some groups feedback on if it's a good game or not. So just give me like a generic thumbs up or thumbs down on if you guys are into this game, if I should do it on the weekends or something. Yep, New World. Did I ever play World of Warcraft? Not really, because remember, my heart was broken from RuneScape. It was very, very much heartbroken. All right, first thing I saw was a thumb down by a battle rap. But, kind of actually a mixed bag here. I'm seeing some thumbs downs and thumbs ups. on if it's a good or not game. I mean, if you watch like the gameplay of it, it does seem fun. Final Fantasy 14, best MMO in my opinion. Final Fantasy 14. Ashen's Call. I've oddly heard that name. Wait, so what's better, New World or Final Fantasy? I've played neither. New World release date is August 31st. Wait. So how are people already playing it? I'm assuming it's some sort of beta. But if you're playing the beta, do you have to restart with the rest of the world on August 31st? Or how does that work? Still your potential. I bet he's married now. He probably is. Kohrs Light, 8 beginnings. It's okay, Matt. He works at Citadel now. Joke's on him. If you met the guy, I don't know if he quite had... I mean, I don't know what this is saying about me because I don't think he has the brain capacity to work at Citadel. And then yet he still hoodwinked me. So I do understand that. Oh, so everyone does restart. Oh, interesting. Everyone restarts. Interesting. You get wiped. Huh. Good to know. You guys are so knowledgeable. Just a collective group of people in here. It's in beta. You can try get a beta key or pre-order and get access. Everything resets on release, but the game is really fun. Got it last week. If you get into Portal games, check out Splitgate. I've decided I'm addicted to Splitgate. A very nice blend of both games mentioned above. Oh, fun stuff. I don't mean this in any way offensively because in all honesty, he currently has more money than I've ever dreamed of in my life and will have more than I'm ever going to make. But what happened to Ninja? Ninja like exploded with Fortnite. He did that thing with Drake. He had the Ninja competitions. Did he like quit or like... What does he do now? Like the dude, I know the dude's very loaded, and what he ended up doing was highly impressive. All definitions of success are clearly met. I'm not taking away from the dude whatsoever. I'm just asking, what is he doing now? Like, does he still stream? And like people, did he retire? Like, what happened? Someone said YouTube is hiding your live streams. That's a bummer. He's on Twitch and doing endorsements. Twitch. Oh, so he's on Twitch. What does he stream on Twitch? Is it still Fortnite? Is everyone still playing Fortnite? He streams games he likes now. Oh, so he kind of said like F it to... Wait, I'm trying to understand what happened. He left Mixer, and I know he got a fat paycheck from Mixer. He's got retirement money. I mean, he is generational wealth. Like how much is the dude worth? Which I know these aren't accurate. Ninja net worth. He's worth $25 million, folks. Let's just make this very clear. He does not care. He does not care whatsoever. The dude's loaded. I mean, outside of buying a Learjet, he could probably do whatever he wants. Ever. Like the dude, he's won. He like in the game of life, he's doing A-okay. I was just wondering if he's still playing Fortnite. Matt Kohrs Light account. I still keep tabs on your life. I miss you, Matt. Oh, that's hilarious. Diablo 2 remaster in September. Why not discuss the extreme deep in AMC stock over the last half hour? I would say that's a bit dramatic. AMC is down $1.60. I'm not gonna like fear monger, Like, what do you guys want me to do? Like, just scream like, oh my God, AMC is falling off a cliff. It is so red, it's off a cliff. What do we do, folks? What are we doing? Buy, 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 sell, 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 buy, 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 sell. No, like, I'm not going to fear monger. It's down $1.60. If you've been in AMC for any amount of time, is $1.60 going to make you sell your position? Is $2.60 going to make you sell your position? Is $3.60 going to make you sell your position? No. It just, nothing really happened today. Like, it just, what do you, I know people want me to be able to move the stock market, but I can't. Today was really not much of a day. It looks like the next major day is going to be, I guess, Monday, August 9th with the earnings. But like, I'm not just going to sit here and fear monger and just like play to people's emotions. What happened with AMC and GME and really the market at large today? A whole bunch of nothing. Tesla gapped up. Tesla had a good move. It gained $20. I'm curious to see if it's going to fall through tomorrow. But that's about it. Some days in the market, it's going to be boring. Like, you're going to have that in the stock market. And I think this is kind of what some creators have been talking about, and then why we have it being misconstrued as like, oh, creators are talking about us. There have been various creators who basically have said, hey, if nothing's going on, I'm not going to make a video because like, what do you like? That is more of the like, oh, the shill thing of like, I need to make a video. I need to do this. But like, if nothing's happening, it in the stock market, you have time periods where nothing's happening. You have to get used to that because that's just part of the stock market. So it's all good. That it's not good or bad. It's neutral. Do I wish we were up on the day? Of course I do. Instead of being down $1.67, I wish we were up $1.67. Of course, that's very obvious. But like I said, if we were down $2.70, like what would it change? Like no one's gonna sell on that anyway. So like we're here, whatever. It's okay. We're here to go on fun field trips. I'm here to provide some entertainment and some education on days like this when there's not really much to watch in the chart. I can't, as a human, I would lose my mind if we just sat here all day and imagine every 10 seconds I just called out the stock price. All right, AMC is at 35.27. All right, AMC is at 35.26. All right, AMC is at 35. Oh, we are back to 35.27. Never mind. We are back to AMC at 35. Yep, still at 35.26, folks. Like, it just gets too boring. Like that, no one's going to watch that. If something major is going on, obviously I'm here. We're going to commentate on it. We're going to do that. But other than that, we're going to talk about whatever we feel like talking about. Like it's all good. It's not, nothing's changing. I'm still here. If something happens, we'll call it out in real time. In between the session, I will be doing interviews with people, getting other forms of content that I believe add to the community. For example, I interviewed Dave Lauer today, and that will be coming out at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's all good. It is all good. Let's take a big, deep breath. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Calm, cool, collected. Calm, cool, collected. Elmo, please do that for like an hour. Like, is that what people like? Some people, when they type things, I feel like they just don't even necessarily think about what they're saying. Of like, why is he not calling out AMC every 4 seconds? Like, it's not moving. If something's moving, I'm gonna let you know. Gonna let you know, folks. Can you dive into investor relations questions, share counts for them? It seems like super positive and what everyone wanted, some sort of share count. So wait, are the questions posted live yet? Bro, check your PO box. I did check it on Saturday morning. Check these things out. Check these little ditties out. This is the vibe I'm going for. Wait, I think some of these gaming streamers have like a very like hardcore vibe. I think it's time that I bring over like more of the duck-based fashion to that gaming world of just like I sit there and I'll just play RuneScape like this. Maybe I should recreate a RuneScape account and avenge myself But yeah, so I went to the PO box and we did the PO box unboxing last night. I think some of the clips are posted it on the Matt Kohrs channel, but this is it. This is the new fashion. If you were looking for the current fashion trend of August 2021, this is it. Get yourself a headband, get yourself some goggles. Some really cool goggles. I know that they're just a normal pair of shades, but it's all in how you present it. This is the new age of fashion. This is the new age of stock market. This is the new age of content creation. John Lennon. I'm not much of a gamer, but I heard about a game called Halo. Looking forward to Turnaround Tuesday. Shout out, Carl. Green goggles. Get yourself, this is hip. This is the cutting edge fashion. Don't be surprised if you guys see me on a runway pretty soon. The fashion runways of Philly. Green glasses. Green grasses. Stairway to Hell. I like how the ring lights look in your eyeballs. I think it's kind of fun. Like, I need to wait. If I look, hang on. There's a perfect way for me to like right. Nope. Right there, right in the middle. Nailed it. It looks like I have some sort of googly eyes. I don't know why, but this provides me way too much entertainment. Yeah, so for any of the parents out there, if you need to explain to your kids why they should stay in school, feel free to send them this clip. Be like, don't become this kid. I think it's really good. And for other of you out there, who knows? This might just serve as some overall form of, I guess, birth control, maybe. I don't know. Overall, I think this is positive content that everyone could be using. Ape's not leaving. AMC to the moon. I sent this big package. It arrived yesterday. Check your Twitter DMs for tracking. I definitely is too big for a PO box. Okay, Johnny. Maybe I'll go like right after this when the bell closes, just to get it. You look like Morpheus. Red pill, blue pill. It's so fashion forward. Fashion forward. What do I think about XRP? I think XRP has a great chance of running if it wins the lawsuit, which I do think it will. I buy 20 shares every day, 10,000 plus as of today. This is mentally getting tough, but we must buy and hold. That's the only way. Thanks, Matt, for everything. Soccer Skills Unlimited. You have a lot of shares. You have more shares than I have shares. You have 10,000 plus shares. Congratulations, man. Like, I hope you absolutely murder this trade. Can you give Ken Gaffney? Can you give my girl Gertie a shout out? I've been streaming, drive back from DC, first full stream with you. Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Gertie. I'm happy to be part of your commute back from DC. All right, can we go? Someone is asking, can we see Ortex? Yes, we can, with a minute left. They have returned a net 5.6 million shares, and they've borrowed 309,000. Short interest of 14.23% on GameStop, or on AMC, and then on GameStop, the short interest is 14.24. All right, we are closing out the day, folks. All right. Let's get ready. Guy, thank you for that super chat. AMC, GME. What else do we have? We're waiting for that bell to ring. Put a conclusion on the day. Ding, 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 ding. Casino is closed, folks. AMC closed out at 35.20 and GME closed out at 157.20. Here is the dealio. I will be posting the interview with Dave Lauer to this channel in 2 hours, 120 minutes. It will premiere. It's an hour long. It's all about dark pools. It's all about payment for order flow. I basically just asked all the questions that you guys sent to me in the Twitter when I was like, hey, I'm interviewing Dave Lauer. Just so you know, that will be on this channel. And then we're going to clip the individual key moments and key questions and then post that to the Matt Kohrs Clips channel, which is linked in the description of the video. So overall, we kicked off the month, August 2nd, Monday, not in the best of fashion, but also not in the worst of fashion. We are looking for a turnaround Tuesday tomorrow. So tomorrow I will be streaming 9 to 11 and then 2 to 4. And that's the plan. So tonight, look for the interview. If that's something you want to pay attention to, the clips of it will be on the other channel. And then I'll be live streaming tomorrow. Is AMC on SSR? No, it is not. Overall, that's what I have for you folks. Thank you for such an incredible amount of support day in and day out. You guys are absolutely the best. So happy to be a member of this community. We need more cowbell. So yeah, I need to go and get things, make sure they're all squared away with that interview so it can go live in about 2 hours. Like I said, it will be a premiere. Check back on this channel. And then other than that, have a great evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. And then I'll catch you bright and early, crack of dawn, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you so much. You guys are the absolute best. And remember, from me and Chair, as always, best of luck in the markets.